quickly does it come up on YouTube? Oh, there we go. Right, so if I copy that link, send that to you in WhatsApp, then at least for now, until I work out how to do it so we can see each other, you can use that. But I'd say just keep it muted, or else you'll be speaking, then you'll hear it in your phone or whatever, and then it'll just go into like a screaming loop. Hello. I don't know why I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a delay because obviously it's not going to be live because it's obviously streaming through the world to do that. But yeah, do you think that'll work for now for you? I can see you all right, but it's just whether you can live with not seeing me. We'll work it out. So, the chat. And then I can reply as well. We'll come up with something a bit more better, so you can interact better. Because it's obviously the way it works is I'm classed as a director, so I basically do it all from my computer, and it's all like orchestrated here, and I put the things on the screen that's needed, and all the people add them in, sort of layer it all out like that. And then, but you can interact with it as well. There's other ways of doing that. So I'm sure this will be a journey, man. We'll work it out. Yeah, quickly done. I mean, the sake of a few minutes this morning, just trying to work out how you actually do it, because it's been a few years since I've used OBS, which is completely free, but it's just a great way of like putting stuff on the net on YouTube and streaming it that way. I was quite interested that you mentioned that you wanted to do a podcast for quite a while. So what was the reasoning behind that? What was your thoughts behind doing a podcast? What did you want to get from it? What do you want to talk about? It's quite interesting to know that. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. 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 It's I mean, I found that when it's more structured, you can be a little bit closed and a little bit orchestrated with your responses, whereas if it's just like laid back, like you say, like in the sofa, on the sofa, or in like a nice chilled out room, you're more open, you're more relaxed, you're more yourself, and it's more real. um and I think with a podcast you could probably get more out of it than you would in like a closed session, where you feel like it's a little bit, I need to respond, I need to answer, I need to do something. So that's really interesting. Um, I'll. Well, I mean, you know me. I mean, for people that don't know me, talking like this is going to be a worldwide hit, and this podcast's going to be amazing, and we're going to have loads of fans in it. You never know. Actually, I'll tell you something. When I did do some videos on YouTube a few years back, I bought an American travel trailer in America, from America, but it was imported here. Um, I knew nothing about it, and I thought, well, I know. Let's just like learn as we go along, right? Build some videos on YouTube, edit them, and post that. I was getting like 1,000 hits, 1,000 views per video, which is, I wasn't expecting that. So it clearly works. Put the right content out there, and you get the right audience, it could work. But for me, you know me from years ago. Trying to get more out of me, I think, was what I first came to you about. Like, I just felt like I wasn't doing enough in my life. I was sitting around too much. I was being a little bit lazy. And I had all this extra time, all this extra energy. What can we do with it? And we came up with a plan, and we tried to work out, the best ways of getting the best out of my time. So that's how I know you. In fact, we know it by a mutual friend who introduced us. So that was a long time ago. But the reason for this podcast is because most recently we've been talking about mental health and mind games in sports. And for me, it's very present, very current, very exactly what I do. The sports that I do are so much about your mental ability. And having chats with you was really compelling. I thought they're really useful. And then you started getting into, okay, well, I would like to do like a plan, put like a little project together, a little program together. So you get more people involved in this and get, understand the way of thinking in these kind of sports and hopefully help them out as well. So I was like, I'm quite excited to hear you doing something like that. And then the other day I saw the Osbournes, which is a new podcast that they do, Ozzy Osbourne and his family. But they haven't been together since the show many moons ago. They've done little things here and there, but it's not that dissimilar. They're just a bit older, and there's less chaos. They're just sat around a table with microphones now, so it's a little bit more sedate than it used to be. But that being said, it's still so funny, and you appeal to it. You want to hear what they're coming up with. I mean, they're talking about anything. They're talking about like stuff that's happened down the street. They're talking about what's happening in the news. They cover everything, and it just kind of spurred something. I just thought, well, okay, we're having these chats about the sports that I'm doing, and it's helping you with your program and getting like learning material together and all of that, and I like talking about it, helps me doing that. So why don't we like put a podcast together and see if it goes somewhere? It might not go anywhere. You might not get any followers. You might not get any views or anything, but it might help each other, and then it's a little bit less of a I don't know, maybe a structured environment. It's just like whatever goes. And I think that's the point of these podcasts, is trying to make it as little bit as open as possible. Whatever goes. If you want to F blind, cunt, shit, fuck, whatever, say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's like, just let it happen. These videos are going to be age rated anyway. So, if you want to just go hell for leather with it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the point. It's like being as open as possible and just trying to get the most out of it. And if there's other people that benefit from that as well, then great. It's good for them as well. But if it can help you, it can help me, then it's brilliant. So yeah. 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 Yeah, I mean, I sent you a message just to put a bit of structure around it, because it can get a little bit wild. If not, you can get a little bit off course or off topic. So I think just having a little bit of structure about what we maybe start with and then veer off, go into various conversations, might be a good idea to do that. I don't know. I think it's one of those, let's just try it and see where it goes. And then, if this starts to work out, we work out a good format and go with that week on week or however often we can do it. So I think, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I work, you work. If we're in the middle of the day, then we're probably not going to have much long time. But if it's on an evening, it depends how willing you are and how much time you've got, I guess, on an evening. If you've got like some evening appointments, I don't know. An hour, half an hour, I don't know. Let's just feel how long it should take, and then we'll maybe work it out. I don't think having like a time limit always works, because then you feel like you're rushing things. Um, but at the end of the day, if it's bedtime, it's bedtime. So it'd be like, okay, so right, I need to go. So I wouldn't say have like fixed structure or be too rigid with the time we spend on it. I think it's just, if we feel we've got enough out of that time, that session, then great. Carry on. If not, but maybe go down that route. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, exactly that. I mean, it depends how in depth we get and how passionate, I suppose, we get into various topics. So maybe we could start talking about sport until tomorrow. But then we can start talking about, if I'm going snowboarding one week and we want some feedback, I can give you some good feedback on that, or whatever we've done in the week, and just fill it out. I really can't say how long it take. An hour would be good, because a lot of podcasts seem to be round about that anyway. Because at the end of the day, who's got time to listen to a 2 hour podcast? Unless they're the Joe Rogans of this world, I guess, people like that, that have got a good following, and they'll listen to them for hours. But yeah, no, I think an hour probably a good starting point, and see where we go from there. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I did have an idea of finding an app where it just says generate topic, and then and then you have to come up with an idea, or chat about that. I mean, it could be anything completely obscure, but yeah, 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 yeah. It's completely random. Then it kind of puts you on the spot. Come up with something. I mean, we're not here to offend anyone, or do anything. These are obviously going to be our own opinions going forward. So whatever we say, it's our own opinion. And we're not here to offend anyone. But if we say something that disagrees with the whole world going on at the moment, I mean, that's just how it is. Everyone's got their own opinion. It's very difficult to say something without offending someone these days, is what I found. But it's a case of, so, yeah, it's your opinion versus my opinion, so whatever. But absolutely, we'll just find a topic, just go for it. I think a good starting point is just seeing how you are this week, seeing what's going on. How are you doing? Kind of like a catch up, I suppose. Maybe start things off like that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I go every week. Generally go on a Thursday, because that's the night that they've just built the park, so it's fresh, everything's nice and neat, and they usually have most of the features that they've built over the last. I think they start building one on Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning, but they've had time to set, so they're quite solid by the time I get there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So yeah, I do intend to go tomorrow. And usually go on the Saturday as well, just because it's a little quieter and there's a few features out just to have a bit of a play around on. But it was frustrating last week, because I wanted to learn or practice my 360s a bit more. There was a kicker there last week, and I was doing some of the biggest backside threes I've ever done. And this is where you're doing your rotation, but when you do your 360, your back faces down the slope first, hence the name backside. So back is facing, so you kind of rotate and your back's first, and then you finish the rotation. Front side is where you rotate and you're looking down the slope first, and then you finish your rotation all the way around. That's how they differentiate. Yeah, but it's more complicated with rails, because it depends what side of the rail you jump on, whether it's a back side or a front side. And if you're looking at the rail, that's classed as a front side, because you're front side onto it. Whereas if you're going behind it, I suppose, it's kind of called a backside. But there's like lips, like there's so many different phrases, it's hard to keep up half the time. But yeah, the kicker last week was brilliant, doing the best 360s, and then I went on Saturday and it just wasn't great. There was a ridge right in front of it. It was slushy, it was just a bit of a mess, so that was frustrating. But you get that sometimes. You're not going to have the perfect features every time. But no, it was good. It was good. I think after the work we've done, it's definitely moved me on a hell of a lot. I don't even think about the struggles that I was having. And the reason that I got in touch initially was because I was having blocks, if you remember. So I would wanted to jump on a rail, and then something would tell me, no, don't do it. And then every time it just kept popping up every time just before I was doing the rail. So we did a technique of focusing on just that moment in time, and that seemed to that really worked well, and I've been using that ever since. So yeah, that's been really good. What about yourself? What have you been doing this week? Right, brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Which I think's huge. People just think that snowboarding is just about the snowboarding, but it really isn't. It's so much of a mental game, and I think once you tackle that, you're going to be a better snowboarder. And I think people don't realize that all these pro athletes, they're not just out there training all day. They go through a lot of mental training as well as all the physical training as well. So, no, it's a really a good angle that you're going in at there. Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Yep, yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah, and you've got some interest from all over the world. Nice. Right. That is excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Nice. Nice. What
I've got to go. I've
what
got to go
about
in a minute, Chris. Just to let you know.
have you got have you got no, that's okay. I mean that was I think that's a good point to like pause it there anyway because I just wanted to see what the feedback was like on the channel that we've just recorded. So um yeah, how does that kind of format feel, that layout, everything? I'll try and get the video sorted so at least you can see me because I know it's a bit of a pain having to watch it on a phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna like looking on the YouTube channel, and obviously I need to sort out my position where I'm sitting
Right,
because I don't really like the way that that looks
with
and
the
the light and
windows.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I need to kind of fix that.
yeah.
Maybe at my
We see a lot of professional
table.
YouTubers and they have like things on shelves, don't they? Like and lights and all of that. So maybe in time do something like that. I mean, I've got a printer right behind me, but I could probably put some shelves up with some lights or something. But yeah, it's all about like how you appear as well, as much as what you can say.
Yeah, there's that part, and then if we've got kind of 3 or 4 points that we're gonna discuss, or we're
Yeah.
gonna roll a dice or something like that,
Yeah.
just to get my head round those kind of 6 options or 5 options or
Yeah.
10 options, and then hopefully I can contribute something positive to what you bring as well.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, yeah, man, I feel I'm excited about it, Chris.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have a kind of discovery period.
Yeah.
And then at some point, it's going to say, right, okay, this is our kind of loose structure. This is our kind of
we're not going to get it right
it
straight off. It's difficult to do that unless you've been doing it before. So it's going to be like a bit of trial and error, and just working out the best format that we could work with. Time as well, and obviously with the time difference and all that. So yeah, now let me have a
what about names and music and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. It'd be nice to have like a good intro and an outro and make it a little bit more professional, and it's a bit more compelling, isn't it? So we'll see what Mr. AI can do.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look at that. Should we try and speak on Friday then? Try and get something organised Friday.
Absolutely. I'll catch up with you after that, but good pilot.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I think it looks really good, man.
Yeah,
it looks really good. I like the way it looks on YouTube.
Yeah,
I didn't know obviously all the mechanics of this, but we can.
No, me. I'll work out the technical side of things, and you don't have to worry about that. If there's anything that you feel like it needs, then I'll look into that. I'm just looking at your audio; it does look a little quiet, but I don't know until I've heard it back. So we'll fine tune that and work it all out.
All right, man. Cool.
Have a good one.
Awesome, Chris. Love it.
Take care,
Great
man.
idea. Man, thanks for inviting me for this, because this has been in the back of my mind.
I'm so pleased.
So long.
I'm really pleased. I didn't know that you'd been wanting to do one. I mean, it's been in my mind a while, I like talking. I like going over different things and sharing my view, but listening to other people as well. And when you said that you like podcasts, it's like, well, hang on. We might have something here, because we have some good conversations about, especially the work you do, but I love talking about the impact it's had for me as well, and feeding that back. So no, nice one, man. I really appreciate that.
Awesome, Chris. Let's speak on the chat.
Yeah, speak soon.
See you later, man.
Bye. Right, what the fuck did that sound like?